22, the forwards have reshaped quickly. Farrell throws a dummy. He is tackled by 2 or 3 Fijians, but good quick ball. Maritoje means business today. He's rocked in the tackle just as I say that, but he recycles it well for Mitchell. Daly's in a first receiver. He whisked it out to Courtney Laws. Laws is savage. Oh, what a tackle. That is an iconic World Cup tackle.
After a few days in Edinburgh and the Cairngorms with my wife, I'm heading north on a solo photography trip. When I originally planned my itinerary back home in Bristol, I had Glen Affric and Loch Marie on my hit list for scouting missions on my way north. But with the colours of autumn getting towards their peak while we were in the Cairngorms, I was itching to revisit some of the compositions I had found around Suilven and Stack Polly. So I ignored the turnings for Loch Ness and Glen Affric, and I pushed north. Hiking, camping and living out of a car is a lot of hard work if you want to maintain a decent level of comfort and self-care. You have to be organised to stop the experience becoming miserable. I was also vlogging the trip, and what with filming, charging extra batteries and unloading footage, I really needed to adjust my expectations of what I could achieve in a day. You'll see from later in this series, but these lessons are hard learned with equipment breakages, storms and sleep-deprived poor decision making. All that to come though. Thank you for joining me on my 2023 Autumn Highlands adventure. Well, I didn't quite make it to Assynt and Coigach, but I didn't get far off, about 50 minutes away. I parked up in a parking spot with a toilet just after Rogie Falls, so it's a good place to turn in and have a rest before tomorrow. Luckily I'm an early riser, so I'll get to my photo locations with plenty of time for sunrise. So I'm going to eat some food and tidy the car slightly, and then I'm going to turn in. I'm absolutely shattered. Well, good morning from the Northwest Highlands. Absolutely beautiful morning this morning. The deer are roaring in the background and the light was just perfect. I'm at a loch facing towards Suilven that you can see over in the background there. This is a composition that I visited last year, and because I was in a rush this morning, I just wanted to get something in the bag. I had to march in because I almost missed the good light this morning. I left a little bit later than I had planned, and I had a 50-minute drive. Beyond this morning's composition, I haven't really made plans today. I've finished a lot earlier than I expected. The stormy light will probably pick up again, so it might well be that I stay around this loch for a little while. I had thought that I might circuit it. I'll have to have a look on the OS maps and see how far through the circuit I am, because I'm not sure I want a huge hike this morning. But I'm going to have a cup of tea, eat some breakfast and think it through. I'm just really happy to be here and to start my Northwest Highlands Autumn 2023 adventure. So I've broken down my camera gear from a beautiful morning shoot here at Loch, and I'm deciding what to do for the rest of the day. It's currently shrouded in clouds, but occasionally the twin peaks are showing through, so might get a shot still this morning from along the shoreline here. Yeah, I'll spend the morning exploring and I'll see what I can see. Pretty happy to have already got an amazing shot in the bag and to have had such a fruitful shoot this morning. It's a good way to start the adventure. I'll see what I can see along here and then get back into some phone signal and check on my loved ones, and then return to a familiar composition and see how it's changed in the year. I'm being followed. Wow, that turned into an intense walk in the end. I wasn't planning on being out for so long, but I fully explored the bank that I've been curious about on Loch. I thought they were human paths, but it was mostly deer runs, and it ended up being quite frantic, scrabbling through the undergrowth there. But I spotted some compositions that I'd think about returning to, maybe on this trip or maybe in the future. As I made my way from Elphin to Coigach, I felt calmed. As first mornings of a trip go, conditions couldn't have been much better, and as I drove, the background hum of lapping water and roaring red deer drowned out the usual chatter of my mind. While the snow-dusted mountains of Westeros in the distance tempted me, bathed as they were in morning light, nothing could divert me from my next destination. I like the composition from this morning's work, but I was torn between two frames. I like the saturated warm light on the hills and sky in the earlier pre-sunrise shots, but the stormy sunrise continued to delight me as the light became more intense. Later in the morning, when the water at the lake reflected light from the mid-ground hills, it added some dynamism to the image. In the end, I opted to go with an image that was taken sometime between these two extremes, and I had the best of both worlds. What drew me to this composition in the first place is that the twin peaks of Suilven are echoed at a 90-degree angle by the shoreline and the river outlet. With the water level higher this year and the twin peaks hidden by cloud, this symmetry is less obvious. Still, I like this composition, and the conditions were just perfect. I never wanted to get a drone. This is for a similar reason to why I don't have too many lenses. I think limitation is useful to help you focus, and getting a drone could be a distraction from finding and refining compositions on the ground. While I still think this is true, I bought a drone for establishing shots for this trip, and this morning I got a photo that I'm fairly happy with. In the end, the drone didn't prove much of a distraction. I tend to like shooting and driving rain, so a drone isn't suitable for that, and after day 2 of this trip, conditions meant I couldn't send up a drone anyway. All that to look forward to. Thank you for watching the first episode of my 2023 Autumn Highlands adventure. If you like this video, please subscribe to follow the rest of the trip. New episodes are released 10 AM on Saturdays. I'll see you there.